What's up, people? I'll wait for a few more people to jump on. Great game today in regards to playing like ourselves. So, I'm happy about that. Um, Good to see you guys again, too. Taco Man, Tony, what up? Steve Adams, what up? Jeffrey Jones, what up? How you guys, man? Glad you guys here early. I didn't see the game live initially, so I had to sit and watch the game just now fully. I didn't. I watched highlights earlier, but I just watched the full recap a second ago. I didn't want to jump on without having watched it first. So, but you guys are jumping on fast. So let me go ahead and get prepared. Don't laugh at me either. But I got my glasses on today. All right, so I can see everything y'all saying, and you won't see my eyes though. So don't take it too heavy. Yeah, Dak did play. I wouldn't say great, but he played pretty good. Do I still hate him? Um, don't hate him. He hasn't earned himself a pass out of the doghouse yet, and I appreciate the five from you, super chat, Adrian Lindsay. Yeah, that was probably one of the better passes of Dak's career, and I'm not even saying that to be smart. I mean, that was a great pass to Zeke at the end of the game. Not because he never threw a pass of that nature before, because he did to Dez his rookie season. But since his rookie season, I think he kind of lost that. And I think the thing that he did in this drive, the fact that the best play of the game to me was the fumble recovery. Showed that Dax really comes out with some sort of grit. He was playing to win. He responded in kind to all the criticism that myself has given him and probably will continue to give until he improves. But yeah, again, Joe Pittman, I agree with you. I'm not sold, but this is what I said in the beginning of the season. If Dak can play within these types of confines, hitting the throws that he needs to throw when he needs to hit them, and throwing a few deep shots a game to keep the defense honest, we have a winning formula. Hold on, my air conditioner is probably pretty loud. I can hear it too loud for myself, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off 1 second. Give me a second. Straight like that. I'm back. Okay. But yeah, Tavon. This game in particular, like I remember in the Carolina game, I said to you guys that Scott Linehan actually coached a good game, or he coordinated a good game, and it wasn't executed properly by Dak and company. In this game, Dak threw a pretty good game, and it wasn't executed properly by a few of his receivers. In this case, it would be Tavon. Dak would have had a 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns, and I would definitely, have to go out and find a crow, shoot it, and probably eat it in front of you guys. But had Tavon caught that last pass, that's probably would have been a reality. Um, I'll start with the ugly because the ugly wasn't really a long list offensively. The ugly was just, red zone execution. I think we need to work on. I think they need to work with Rico a little bit more because it becomes obvious that we're going to Rico. From what I watched him in the red zone a few times, but it becomes obvious that we're going or attempting to go to Rico because he only comes in certain plays, and when he comes in, we're generally throwing it to him. But he did have a monster block in this particular game, and I think that was the play where Zeke had to cut back on that zone read and tried to hurdle a guy. Rico was in on that play, and he played pretty well on that play. He blocked pretty well. Hold on, you guys, the chat kind of disappeared. Yep. If he can I mean, Emmanuel, I mean, within reason, he's not going to dominate. I mean, against the Jags because nobody really dominates the Jags. So I'm not mad about that. Um, Under 5 yards, Zeke should get the ball. Adrian, I mean, I wouldn't argue with that either. He's playing pretty good. Richard was holding those guys accountable, but it was a lot that went on, and some of the things that really stood out to me were like Dak's attitude. Like he really came out today angry, and he played like he was really stepping up to the plate and wanted to prove a lot of people wrong. Um, There's a lot of you talking in the chats about Heath right now. I don't want to lean away from what I was about to say about Dak. I'm going to get to Heath in a second, but just to jump in there, Heath is not a trash tackler. I think Heath really met his match a couple of times a day, but he's not a trash tackler. He takes trash angles at times, but when Heath hits you, he hits you. So I'll say that he had, I think, his worst game. One of his worst games against the run of his career today, because I saw him on a few plays take just piss poor angles or stop his feet, like the Golden Tate touchdown. Jordan Lewis and Heath on that play both look like they shouldn't be in the league. And just on that play, I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the league. I'm just saying on that particular play, they don't really look that good. GG, what up? What up, though? Santa Claus just did crack. I love that name, man. What up? Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm on live. I can't answer that. What's up, man? What's up, Cali Cowboy, man? I'll be in Cali Wednesday too. So, I'll be in Sacramento, actually. What's up? What's up, Steve Mack, man? I say what up to all y'all, man. I'm letting as y'all come in here and fill in. Yeah, you're welcome, Santa Claus. I ain't seen Santa Claus in a long time. I didn't know him too well when I was growing up. Santa Claus used to skip my house. Do I think we should ask Dez to come back? You said, do I still think we should ask him to come back? I never thought that we should ask him to come back. I don't think we should ask him to come back. No. I don't think we should have let him go. That's true. But once we let him go, the relationship was slaughtered. I don't think while we have Jason Garrett, it'll be a good environment for Dez or Garrett if they're both in the same building because he said too much. Yeah, Sean Lee called a snake, came at Travis Fredericks. There's just too much of a distraction that would come with re-signing a Dez Bryant. So, I don't think he should be back here. I do want him to catch on somewhere and play well, but not for the Cowboys. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be here. 11 Aries 23. You didn't really miss much. We were just talking about Dak's attitude and the fact that he played better. Big win. It was a great win for Dak because of the drive that he had the position he was put in to win it. I think that was, great. But yeah, Dak took some big hits. He made a few big throws. I think I still give him credit for the throw to Tavon Austin just for seeing it. I want to move this light because it's kind of glaring off my glasses. I don't like it. Hold on a second. Let me find something to put over it. Maybe this works. A little better. Not much. Whatever. All right. But yeah, Byron Jones has already solidified himself. No one's trying him. They didn't try him too often this game. Oh yeah, Lovin, you missed the glasses. I actually wore my glasses today. Oh man, I can see everything you guys are saying without jumping in there, even when I don't want to. But yeah, he made some big throws. I count the Tavon Austin throw. I count the obviously the Mike Gallup throw was one of the better throws he's thrown, and then Zeke. Those three throws above 20 yards were difference makers in this game. And it's not a coincidence that the games where he throws are attempts to throw over 20 yards. We just so happen to win this year. The games where he hasn't, we lose. So not allowing Dak to go into that mode where he wants to take what the defense is giving him and rather makes the defense adjust to him. I think that's the style of football we have to play, win, lose, or draw. Even if you're throwing interceptions, that's the way he has to play. Yes, I think Byron Jones, if he continues to not get any attention, he had 0 throws his way. If he continues to play that well, he should be a Pro Bowler. I mean, that's what the cornerback position is supposed to be like. Speaking of cornerbacks, though, perfect segue. Jordan Lewis, man. I'm kind of down on Jordan after watching, and I kind of understand why he's not on the field after watching that play against Golden Tate. Is he overcommits on initial moves because he's such a ball hawk, I think. He wants it too bad and he overcommits to that initial step or that first route every time. He's been doing that since last year. If you remember when Emmanuel Sanders put him on his ass in Denver, he was doing it then. He almost got caught against the Cardinals. the very next game with Larry Fitzgerald. Got him on a post pattern. I actually put on film, but it just didn't. They didn't connect. But he's been getting beat on double moves for over a year now, and that's because he jumps out there and overcommits. Uh, I hope he gets it together because I actually like Jordan Lewis. We're not a man coverage team though, so moving to a zone look, it doesn't look like he's going to be as effective in this particular scheme because we don't call man as much. And yeah, you're right, Lindsay. He didn't get much play, and I appreciate you again, man. Thank you. Thanks for that super chat. I do appreciate it. But yeah, he didn't get much attention or much playing time. I'm sorry, during the preseason or attention. People kind of forgot about him. Uh, at Sports Guru, shut up about Dak. Yeah, Dak did what he was supposed to do. I'm not a hater. So, like I said, at the end of the day, if I don't like you, and I still don't look at him as our future yet. I mean, he has to be consistent with that, and then I'll shut up. It's not about the person. So it's not like, hey, I don't want a good quarterback in Dak's body. If Dak can somehow become what we want him to be, welcome. Stay. But yeah, I'm not a hater. I'm not going to hate on a guy who played well. He played well today, and he played like Dak's rookie Dak. So that's all I ask him to do. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about the guy if he's playing the way he's supposed to play, and that's the way we want him to play. So yeah, nothing about that. Heath, you guys are talking about Heath and his tackles. Heath stops his feet. He's had that habit for a while now. He stopped his feet on that Golden Tate route, and we paid for it. But that was the same move that Jordan Lewis got caught on, and he got caught so bad that Heath actually stops his feet, slows Tate down, and there's no one pursuing behind him because Jordan Lewis is on the ground. So yeah, I'll try to do a film of Justin Herbert, Lindsay, but the problem is college film. You can't really get the coach's footage, so you're never going to get a good breakdown of a college player that plays quarterback anyway, because you can't see them. And you can't see the field the way you need to be able to make a fair assessment. So you can say, "Oh, this guy's a rock star," but he might be missing wide open passes all day long. You would never know. You would never know. Um, Without further ado, though, we talk about Zeke, man. Zeke had a monster game. I know everybody saying, "Oh, we gave him 25 touches." That's why you only can give a guy 25 touches if you're efficient and you can extend drives. So the only reason Zeke got his touches is because Zeke was actually running well on early downs. So a lot of that Zeke, a lot of that's the offensive line, and that's Dak as well, hitting and converting on third downs when he needed to. Yeah, that's really what it was. Zeke being the focal point of the offense, you see, is just a major difference in the way we play when he's a focal point. And a lot of that had to do with them actually asking Dak and Zeke this week what they like. Now, I'm not going to say they never asked that, but it doesn't make much fucking sense to me. At the end of the day, they say, "Oh, Jason Garrett asked Dak, what type of plays do you like?" Like, why are we just getting around to that? I mean, you should have asked him that last year, in my opinion. But why are we just getting around to what Dak actually likes? Hold on a second. Still don't like this light. It's glaring. I want to take my glasses off. Until it's time for me to read something you guys have to say, take my glasses off because that light is just shining off my face and make me feel crazy. But anyway, yeah, third downs were an issue. Um, passing the ball to Zeke, I think was huge, but not passing it to him as a check down last option. Here, take the ball, do something good for us. But like actually designing screens for him, and we did that their rookie year. So it's not like we can't. We just haven't been. And doing it tonight, it showed and did something for us. Alan Hearns made a pretty decent sideline catch. I liked. He toe tap swag or toe drag swag or whatever they call it. What else we have? I wanted to go into the idea or just talking about the fact that uh, we don't really play the same level of defense truly when Lee isn't there, and that strikes me. Like we give up big runs. It's almost every time. And even when I say like this year, maybe it won't be the same because we have guys like Joe Thomas. I don't think they put him on the field enough. Still, they gave Vander Esch the nod, who played well. Um, he didn't play well against the run as well against the run as you would like, obviously, but he played well, especially in space where he's used to, and he cut down a few screen passes. He was playing well in that middle of the field. So I understood we went with the nickel package, and he's our nickel guy. Both he and Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith had a few plays, like the first sack by Lawrence. Jalen does like a fake. He fakes like he's going to drop in coverage, and then he just turns and just darts at the line. And man, D-Law got a sack as a result of that. So, I mean, I was happy with some of the game or some of the play that Jalen exhibited. I think he missed a few holes and he wasn't as aggressive as he usually is at times, but he did pretty well. Hold on a second. Let me tell my daughter that I'm actually on a show because she doesn't know. Hey, ladies, I'm on the show. All right, sorry about that. What up with all the drops today? Which drops in particular, Josh? I'm seeing what you're saying, but which ones in particular are you talking about? Because if you're talking about like Tavon, I don't think Tavon has the best hands in the world. I think he's one of those guys that just has to be open in order to exploit you. Um, yeah, Byron has been great, and so has Cheeto. Cheeto did not cover poorly today. Like Cheeto covered as good as you can ask of him. Honestly, I don't think he did bad. I think he covered very well. It's just the fact that those balls were, right where they needed to be. Pause, but they were right where they needed to be. It wasn't much he can do there. So, why no targets for Bryce? Because Bryce is a rat. That's why there's no target. Now that's a guy who I don't give a shit how he plays ever. I don't like Bryce Butler at all. I don't think I will like Bryce Butler because of the way he left when he thought that Arizona was really going to be the place to be for him. He kind of kicked us in the balls on the way out, and he did it intentionally. And even when he comes back and says that no, it wasn't like that. Oh, it was. If you guys are wondering what I'm drinking, no, they don't pay me. No, they're not sponsors, but Grand Marnier and some ginger ale, man. Let's get it. All right. Let's see. A couple things I want to touch on. Xavier Woods. I know it's his second game back, so maybe he's still trying to get up to speed. But he looked very sluggish. He didn't look. He was a half a step behind on a few plays, and I want to see him play a little bit better. Now it's kind of like they say the saying. I think Terry Bradshaw said it. You dance with the girl who brung you, as far as the prom is concerned, right? Now we're stuck in that mindset because Eric Reed is signed with the Panthers. We don't really need a guy like Vaccaro and Earl Thomas, who everyone wanted. Just went out with a broken leg. So prayers go out to him. Hell of a player, but now we can put that conversation to bed as to whether or not we should trade for him. And now we have to dance with the girl who brung you. So unless we go out and re-sign Tyree Robinson, these are the safeties that we have, and they have to step up. So Woods has to play better, a lot better. And so does the rest of the secondary, minus Byron Jones. Everyone else is playing pretty lights out. So yeah, minus that, I think everyone else needs to, really adjust. And I don't think it's schematic. It has nothing to do with the scheme or what Richard is actually uh, calling or what type of plays he's calling. I think it's more so execution than anything else. So I'm on live. Okay, just bring me some. I got you. Whatever you eat, I'll take. Sorry, my fiance trying to feed me. I've been in the dungeon watching film tonight because I missed the game. Heath is terrible. Nah, man. Heath not terrible, man. He's still Heath, man. No Bryce though. Y'all really want Bryce to play? Like, stop that. Like, gonna have me start cursing at you. I don't want to curse at y'all, man. We having a good day. The O line, man. The O line played pretty good. They actually started playing to their strength, running to the right, running up the middle, using Connor Williams in space more, which is what we've all been asking them to do. So they've started doing that, which is a great thing. I mean, I just think that I think we just need to be more consistent with that. Although we are playing the Lions, who are a transitioning team, a win is a win, and we very nearly lost this game. We kind of lose to Matthew Stafford a little bit too much, in my opinion. But the fact that we pulled it out was a good thing. I'm not going to say anything negative, even if it calls for it. I'm not, because, well, not about the offense anyway, because that drive was what you needed. Good things, bad things happen in football, but when it's time for you to step up, you can't throw comeback routes. You can't throw balls in the dirt. You have to take a shot, i.e., Green Bay, 4th and 2, Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, that type of shot. Like, you have to drop your nuts and just take a shot. And today, Dak Prescott dropped his nuts and took some shots, and I'm not mad at him for it. It's like everybody want to make noise now that I'm live. My dog want to bark. Fiance coming up. My daughter's talking. Hope y'all don't mind the lack of sound quality today. But I just wanted to jump on. I didn't want to jump on super late because I think I miss a lot of you guys when I jump on after 11. Even though it's less of you here now than it usually is. So maybe I need to jump on after 11. Who knows? But we'll figure it out. Moving on to a few other things. Okay. Let's see. Talked about the sideline catch. I think I wanted to touch that. Change of pace backs. I think Rod Smith is a type of back that needs more carries than average. So he's not really a change of pace back. So I was thinking, like, well, maybe we need a guy who does well like Gillisley does with 5 carries, or Coleman for Atlanta. Those guys that can carry the ball 5 times and they're going to give you some yardage, just in case Zeke does need a breather. We have guys who can still explode on you. Rod Smith is a great running back. I just think he's a guy that is great if Zeke actually gets hurt and we need to give a guy a ball 20 times. He's that guy. I don't think he's a guy where you just say, hey, here, 5 carries is all you're going to get on average and make something happen. Anthony Brown. Yeah, let's touch on Anthony Brown. He can't stop getting in his own way. Anthony Brown is schematically, he knows the plays, he has athleticism, he has tenacity, but he can't he can't get right, man. He consistently, year by year, makes very boneheaded plays, and that was a boneheaded play. There was nothing else behind him other than Golden Tate. So even though you're in zone, you do have to drop deep enough. You have to get your depth right, where when you go to turn and make a play on the ball, you don't have to jog, or run 5 yards in order to be in play. He should have been where he needed to be, and if he just sunk a little bit deeper, faster, it would have been an easy interception for him, not a jump ball, which he tried to jump and intercept it, or jump and knock it down, but he didn't. But at that down and distance, knowing the situation, you can't put Chris Richard in that type of position where he calls a play properly and you do that. That doesn't make sense. Josh Holgwin. Let me read what you said. I appreciate your super chat. You said, "What do you think about picking up or trading for a vet QB? Yeah, to aid in Dak's development." Um, I actually said that last week. I was on a show with these guys at MVP News, and they asked, should we cut Dak or trade Dak or bench Dak? I said, no, the best bet, because I want to win this year. If it sounds good to say, oh, let's get the guy out of here, but no matter how much I don't like him, he is our best chance to win this year. Obviously, he has the most reps, he has the most experience, and out of the quarterbacks behind him, he's the best of the three. So what I said was, go out and trade for or pick up a veteran that can kind of do what Vinny Testaverde did for us, or Bledsoe. Kind of let Dak either learn from him while this veteran sits behind him, or if Dak does play poorly enough to be benched, have Dak be able to sit down and learn from him as well. Because I was watching the Tony Romo Football Life video, and it was good to see that Tony Romo sat down for 3.5 years and then kind of developed his throwing motion and his touch. He was saying he just throws balls into the couch. It took him years, but he was throwing balls consistently to try to get that level of touch on his passes, and he finally developed that after probably like his fifth or sixth year, which was great. The problem is Dak doesn't have 5 years to wait, so getting someone in here who he can learn from, and I don't think he has anybody around him right now that he can, is important. Who that guy is, it's hard to say. Now that Ryan Fitzpatrick actually had a bad game and they put Jameis Winston in, it would be interesting to see what they do with Fitzpatrick now. But I doubt that they would let him go, knowing that the guy is as quality as he is. So we would probably be looking for a veteran quarterback that we would be picking up off the streets. I don't really know if that's really going to be worth our while. Uh, you said you love how Sports Guru says he loves how Chris Richard got in their ass on the sideline. Yeah, Anthony Brown didn't even want to look up, man. He was just staring into space like, yeah, he wasn't listening, wasn't speaking, wasn't saying nothing. And the reason being is uh he knows he busted that play, man. Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, this week you guys sucked. I think you guys already know that, so I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but I'm gonna watch the film. I don't think Jordan got in after that touchdown play. I didn't see him again anyway. But yeah, that was piss poor, man. Piss poor. Best in the NFL. Secondary needs work. I think the secondary is fine. Our two mainstays on the outside, both Cheeto and Byron, play well. In the slot, we already knew we had issues. And if you allow a team to target Anthony Brown or Jordan Lewis, you're going to have issues anyway. It doesn't matter what we fix there. Um, I don't think the safeties played as horrible as it looks, but it looks that bad because of the positions that the corners put them in, i.e., Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown. The safeties actually played pretty well considering outside of that. I think, like I said, Woods was just a little sluggish. Heath was taking some bad angles to the ball, but those angles wouldn't have counted as much had the mistakes not been made underneath them. So I think our biggest issue was just the nickel, and I think Detroit specifically targeted the nickel in this particular game because they knew that that's where their bread and butter would be, and they went at Cheeto hard as well because I don't know why, but they just felt like they can find something there. Cheeto was in great position all day, though, to his credit. When you say Cheeto did not play well, let me qualify what I say. When I say Cheeto played well, I mean he's not blowing coverages. He's not getting beat up and down the field. And he did bend but don't break on the drive where he was attacked. He got attacked by Jones. Jones had a teardrop pass come in on him. He lost track of the ball. That happened. He had one play where he actually batted the ball down. Golden Tate's hands were strong enough to secure it, and he caught it. Same drive. But also in that drive, they went at him for a touchdown in the corner on third down, and he converted that play and forced a field goal. So when I say he played well, he didn't play as well as Byron Jones, obviously, but he played well considering the fact that they were targeting him. Didn't get a pass interference on any of those plays, even though he was in blanket coverage. And in order to complete the passes that they completed against him, the quarterback had to be perfect on every one of those throws that were completed on him. There wasn't one throw where Matt Stafford didn't have to put the ball on the money. That's all you can ask for in the NFL. In the NFL, there is no defense for the perfectly thrown ball. There isn't one. If you throw the ball on time and put it where it's supposed to be, based on the angle of the defender and the trajectory trajectory needs to be, you're not stopping it. So he did his job. So yes, he did play well. Thanks, True Gunner. You kind of watching the same game I'm watching, I think. Vander Esch is the next Vander Esch. D. Will. He's not the next Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly is a different player. Vander Esch is Vander Esch. I think Vander Esch will be. He will make a name for himself in this league at some point. you have to keep in mind he's a rookie who's kind of light in the ass, considering, meaning his strength wise. He's not a light guy. He's 250, 260. But when I say he's light in the ass, he's not as strong as he will be eventually. When he gets a full off season in the weight room, when he gets to work next to Jalen for a full off season, when he gets to watch film with Heath. I'm not Heath, but well, Heath actually watched film with him too. But with Lee and Heath, when he gets to watch film as much as they do, and he gets to work out the way Jalen does, or with those guys, he will take another step. So to see LV as good as he is now, and I give him a solid C plus, B minus type of guy. He's in that range, a B player. To be there as a rookie, just imagine what he'll be with a full off season under his belt and a better understanding of the defense. So yeah, he'll be great. What is he talking about? Are you talking about me, or I don't understand? Ho Ching. I don't know. You got to qualify that. I don't know who you mean. I'm talking about LVE. If you just jumped in, Taco was good. Didn't get a sack, but he had good pressure. Um, my standouts, standouts as far as old defensive line, obviously D Law, but also Crawford. Crawford played just as good as Law, minus the sacks, but he was in the backfield all day long. So I like that. Yeah, Heath had a real bad game. We already said that, True Gooner, but I agree with you. How do I feel about Joe Thomas's performance? What performance? They didn't really have him involved in the game as much as he should have been. I didn't feel great about it because he wasn't involved. And what I'd like to see in our next game, I think we play Houston next. Um, I think we match up pretty well against Houston. What I want to see is how well this secondary holds up against a guy who tries to take the lid off of everything. And this week, this week, we will find out what Byron Jones really is. And the reason I say that is they're not going to shy away from Byron Jones at all this week. They're not going to do what Detroit did. And Byron Jones is going to be matched up quite a bit with both. Well, I don't know if he'll get through. Well, Fuller will get through protocol because he has a concussion. But he's definitely going to be against Hopkins, and Hopkins will beat your ass. So when I say beat your ass, I mean physically. He's going to beat you up. So we're going to see what he can do. And if Byron can contain Hopkins, time to start telling everybody what he really is, which is one of the best corners in the league. I don't care if he doesn't finish the season out. I don't care if he falls off a cliff a little bit. We know he has the potential to be the best or one of the best corners in the league if he can go out there and make Hopkins look pedestrian, or even keep him under 100 yards. I'm happy with that. You said Hopkins don't want no smoke. Oh, he wants some smoke. That's for sure. Antoine Woods was missed today. He's been real good. I think he played. He played. I don't know how much, but he played. I have to watch the film. I don't know how many snaps he got. The red zone play calling. The red zone play calling is a problem. So is just red zone execution. Period. Also next week, let's see what David Irving can bring to the table. Um, I think David Irving will be a great addition because we had a lot of guys go down who I like. Like Collins wasn't playing. My guy, that one man, Dayton Jones. That's my guy. You gotta show him some love. He got IR last week after making a hell of a play. And just like the guy William Hayes from Miami, he was trying to avoid falling on the quarterback, and he tore his ACL. William Hayes did in Miami last week. Same thing happened to Dayton Jones. Most people didn't pay attention to it, but when he sacked or almost sacked Russell Wilson last week, he came down. He came around the side. He came down on his knee again and injured it. So they IR'd him. He can't come back for at least 7 weeks. So shout out to Dayton Jones. He definitely reaches out on Twitter. We talk all the time. So and he's a hell of a player. As far as technique goes and versatility, I think minus David Irving, he's one of our most versatile defensive linemen that we have. And people forget that he was a first round draft pick that played all over the place. He played all world for the Packers. It's just that the Packers weren't going to keep him and he's kind of been a journeyman over the last year before he got here anyway. But Dayton Jones, he'll get well soon. Earl Thomas too, man. You guys get well. Let's see. We should stand Randy Gregory up. Doesn't matter. I think Randy Gregory, they're bringing him along the way they want to. I think he'll be back to full Randy Gregory by midseason. Antoine Woods was injured in this game then because he was definitely in the game. I saw him in the game. So he was in the first drive with Crawford. So if he got injured in the game. He definitely played, True Gooner. We didn't play with a chip today defensively. We played with a chip offensively. Defensively, I think we were kind of hesitant. We weren't really focused on that right side of the field, our left side, depending on what angle you're looking from. But on Cheeto's side of that field, we weren't really focused. We let a lot of things slide. Um, for those who think that people are just talking, just to be talking to, I was listening to Cole Beasley this week talk about, and I was reading actually. I wasn't really listening to, but I was reading him talk about the fact that it feels like the receivers were getting open, they just weren't getting the balls they needed to get. So I think that pressure, along with videos like mine, I don't think it was just mine, but yeah, people like Brett Kallman make videos as well. Imitation's the highest form of flattery. But yeah, people like those guys make films about Dak as well over the last 3 weeks. And I think a lot of that pressure made Dak come out, swinging. So keep in mind, Dak wasn't brought in to Mississippi State to start. He wasn't brought here to start. Dak played well when he thought his job was on the line, which it was in Mississippi State. Every day, his first year, every day was an audition. And when he played here his rookie year, every day was an audition, and he played a lot better. He wasn't playing scared. He played to win, not play. He wasn't playing to manage. And I think after he got the job, he started managing, and people were telling him, "Hey, you're this, you're that." And now that that's not being said, he kind of dropped his nuts, and he has that same fiery chip that he had his rookie year. So if he can keep it up, we'll have a great season. He needs, yeah, I agree with you, Vern. Like he needs that pressure on him every week. So I'm never gonna kiss his ass. I'm never gonna coddle him. I mean, he's only as good as the last game he's put on film until his last game becomes an 11 to 12 game streak of good games, and then some good playoff games to go with that. That's what I want. That's what you guys want too, regardless of how you feel about the guy. Uh, yeah, I think the Joe Mitchell, that was actually important. Deferring the opening kickoff, it says a few things. It says one, let's change things because you see how I change things. I put my glasses on so I can see. To keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. So I think deferring instead of saying, "Hey, let's just score first," I think deferring and giving the ball to the opposing offense first did a few things. One, it just changed the pace or the trajectory of the game. Period. And two, it shows the defense and it shows that Garrett and this team understand what their strengths are, which is the defense. It shows that he had faith in the defense to do that. So yeah, I think deferring was great. He trusts the defense and he thinks that they can ball. Great assessment. Zeke is not like Emmitt Smith though, D. Will. Zeke is like Zeke, man. Well, you have to qualify that. Let me know. When I say he's like Zeke, I mean Emmitt Smith can do things Zeke can't do, and Zeke can do things that Emmitt can't do. So I don't disrespect either one of those players. I used to want to be Emmitt Smith when I was a kid, so uh, I don't think it's a bad thing to say that he's like Zeke. But um, Zeke runs like Zeke. He does. He's not like anybody else in the league right now. I don't think he brings the wood when it comes to. Yeah, he's a combination of players. Like today, I was watching Marshawn Lynch run. Right, Marshawn Lynch. No matter what, when you touch him, you have to, grab his arm, grab his legs, choke his mom, kick his daughter in order to tackle him. Like, excuse my French, but that's true. You can't get him down. He's just not going anywhere. And Zeke has that element to him. He's always fighting for a little bit of extra yardage, so he has that beast mode in him. Then he has big playability like the likes of you guys like Saquon, those guys where he's just quick twitch. Alvin Kamara, he has that big playability in him as well, whether it's handling the ball or just getting out on screens and so on. But then he's patient, like Le'Veon Bell as well. So to say he's like Emmitt Smith, I would say no. He's different because he's a combination of a lot of things that you like, and some of those things Emmitt Smith never really was. Being honest. Yeah, he can catch. Emmett can catch too, though. Now that's one thing Emmett could do. He can catch. He can run routes, and he can break tackles. He just was a different type of player. Emmett was more. He was a little bit more finesse than he was power. He's a guy that he can run through your arm tackles. He'll run you over, but he wasn't. He didn't have. He wasn't a monster like Zeke. Zeke's a different animal. Okay, Watt and Clowney next week. What do I think? Just like I just said, with Byron Jones versus D Hop, this offensive line, if they want to establish themselves as a good O line again. I mean, above average. They're going to have to do well against these guys. Will we get sacked? I think with Dak, you're probably bound to get sacked almost every week. And the reason I say that is because sometimes he holds the ball and tries to make things happen. He did it a couple times this game where he could throw the ball away and save a sack. He'll hold it. So will we get sacked next week? Yeah. But I think limiting those guys and making it so that they can't change the course of the game or dominate the game. I think that's what I want to see out of this O line. So Zach Martin will be up there interiorly anyway against Watt. So will Collins. They'll both see Watt. Tyron Smith will see Watt, but he'll primarily be against Clowney. And if they're watching film, they're definitely going to run some stunts and some blitzes and some games and twists. Same thing in the middle, attacking both Looney and Connor Williams. So we will see what these guys are made of next week. We'll see what our offensive line really can do. So I'm excited about that. That's one thing I think I look forward to. And getting out of this stretch, that first 4 games, getting out of the first quarter of the season, 2-2 was important because of the next stretch that we have. I know the next 2 games in particular. You got the Jags and you have the Houston Texans. The Texans don't look great. They don't look great on paper because of their record, but we know they're dangerous. Both they're striking. They have a striking offense. They can strike from anywhere. And if you're not a good defense, if you're not truly a good defense, you're not going to stop them. Solid running game due to the fact that Lamar Miller's pretty good, and the quarterback and RPO scheme actually works to perfection over there. And then defensively, they have guys who can make plays. You have Tyron Matthew, who definitely is a ball hawk. You have guys like Jonathan Joseph who can cover, and then their secondary is pretty good. Basically, their linebacking core is okay, but their front 4 or front 7, should I say, with Clowney, uh, uh, Merciless. They have a few guys. Watt is just they're nasty up there. Yeah, you can't underestimate them. You're right about that. Dak body wise is like Donovan McNabb. Yeah, accuracy. He doesn't sling the ball as much as Donovan, but yeah, body wise he is like Donovan. Yes, David Irving does come back next game. He said Dak like Donovan. Hell no. Oh man, Dak's like Dak. Yeah, that's my favorite line when people say Dak's like or anybody's like something. Well, who does have the secondary for the Packers, Saints, and Falcons though? Superman, Batman. Like it's not a lot of teams that stop those guys. That's why they put up 4,000 yards and 40 something touchdowns every year. Uh, Actually, that McNair comparison is not bad. That's probably the best comparison. McNair wasn't a guy who could sling it all over the place, but somehow he found his way into the winner's circle quite a bit. And he had a heavy punisher and a runner as in Eddie George. So yeah, I think, and we actually play like those guys. We're a running team, looks kind of anemic when we have to pass, but they figure out ways to win. So yeah, McNair was probably the best comparison I've ever heard for Dak Prescott. Yeah. I have to watch Houston's film, True Gunner. Like, I don't like to just jump out there, and I'm a little tipsy today, and I'm learning. Sundays is this is my fan day. I'll take notes and I'll talk about things I saw, but I know I don't. I saw something last week, and then when I watched the film on Tuesday, it was like, oh shit, that wasn't Dak's fault, and I had to be honest about that. It really wasn't. So now I'm looking at it like I don't know how we attack the Texans. I don't want to just take that question and take it lightly. I'm really gonna look at that this week. But um, from just off the top of the head, if you just want to hear it non-committal, um, truly, um, what I've seen from the Texans, you have to stop the deep ball. That's threefold thing though. Number one, you have to contain Watson, keep him in the pocket. Two, you can't give him any quick looks. So that means we're going to be impressed man anyway. But that means making sure we keep an eye on where Fuller and Hopkins is lined up because we don't usually travel our corners. And if we're not going to travel Byron and we're not going to travel Cheeto, that means they can definitely expose us in the slot because Jordan Lewis isn't playing well. Neither is Anthony Brown. So it's gonna come down to how well we adjust this week and if those guys can get up to snuff. Now, if we run like a zone man type look where we allow Jordan to play man, I like him in man. I think he was in man on the play he got beat on though. But I like him in man. Like in man coverage, Jordan Lewis is definitely serviceable. He just has to be less aggressive, and that's hard to say about any player. But he, for one, has to be less aggressive because he bites too hard. He's not happy with just taking a completion and a tackle. He wants it all. He wants an interception. He wants everything. He's not trying to knock a ball down. He wants everything. And when he settles down, maybe he plays a little bit better. But yeah, that's one. We're gonna have to stop the deep ball for sure. I'm not really too concerned about their run game, but the deep ball is going to be an option. I mean, an issue. Uh, the game is definitely different if Heath is playing. So I don't know if he's playing or not. And I think offensively, how we attack, we're gonna have to, they have some injuries in those guys. Those guys are like they're long in the tooth. They're not old, but they've been beat up, both Clowney and Watt, and we have to make them remember that. So I want to see, guys trap blocking Watt all day long, cutting him, like just make him work. He's gonna get it. He gonna get his shit off anyway. So make him work, make him earn it. I want to see people cut blocking him, not trying to hurt him, but hit him. Hit him. Clowney, it's not much you can do to Clowney. Run away from him, basically. Uh, no, they're not old. That's what I said. They're not old. They're just when I say long in the tooth, I mean they've been dinged up. Clowney's been hurt quite a bit, and so is Watt. Watt has a bad back, so Watt's not old either. It's just that they've been worked, so you have to make them work and try to keep the game close enough so that we can win it in the fourth quarter like we did this game. We can keep the game close. Yeah, we're good. What up, What up, Huggy? How you, man? Let me see what you guys saying out here. I ain't show y'all no love today. My fault. Uh, yeah, man. We don't get no turnovers, but we don't put our turnover guys on the field. Joe Thomas need to be on the field more. Mark my words. I might have to eat crow. Maybe there's a reason that Chris Sure hasn't done it, but because I don't know what they're doing in practice, obviously. But Joe Thomas is a ball hawk. I think he needs to be on the field more. I mean, just that's just me. Oh man, let's see. Hope LV keeps getting better. He's gonna get better. Uh, let's see. No, Jay Lewis. I don't. Mike Petty. What up, man? What up? You guys check out. I don't know if you accepted new guys into that chat room. Speaking of which, on Facebook, Mike Petty he has a group called the War Room, um, and it's a great group. Great group. I go there and I debate all the time. But speaking of Facebook, my Facebook was one of the 50 million Facebooks that were hacked. So if you guys are looking for me on Facebook, I can't respond because I can't log in. I've been locked out for about the last 2, 3 days. But what up, Mike? I don't think Lewis can play safety. I just don't. I don't see him as a safety. He's a nickel guy, and he might be better suited as a nickel guy somewhere else. But if Anthony Brown keeps playing like he's playing, then hey, maybe he'll get some time, and hopefully he does. Dak is not like Cordell Stewart. That's disrespectful. Keep Frazier out of pass coverage. Yeah, I mean, keeping Frazier out of pass coverage is easier said than done. You want to keep him out of the deep half of the field, but he has to cover. And in the cover three scheme, when you spread us out, he's going to have to, adjust and be able to at least hold his own. Cam Chancellor wasn't asked to cover deep for long periods of time, but there were times where he was out there. So you can't just not be able to do it. That's just, that's not going to happen. Dante Culpepper. Yeah, Dante Culpepper wasn't bad. Uh, Kenny Vaccaro is the only safety that's out on the market that I think hasn't been picked up, who we could pick up. But he's another Kayvon Frazier. He's a box guy. I don't think Frazier's a linebacker. I think Frazier needs to be exactly where he is. He's an enforcer that you put in the box. That's it. If you got Earl Thomas as a free safety, you don't need to cover much. That's a fact. And having Woods out there, Woods' job is to be a roamer, a guy that roams the field, and he's not able to do that right now. So um, when Woods actually gets up to speed, he will cover up some of the deficiencies that we saw out there. What do I think of Gallup's progression? I don't like it. I know he had the catch, and even on that catch, he almost dropped that. I think the fact that he's not consistently getting balls thrown his way might have done something to him. But yeah, he's not solid. Gallup is yeah, he's dropping easy passes and he doesn't look he looks shaky. Even on that play, he went up for it, but if you watch it, just rewatch the play, watch the catch. He bobbles it, and if a wind would have blew, if a gust of wind would have hit him, he would have dropped it. So yeah, I don't like Gallup's progression right now. I think his progression is hampered by the fact, though, that Dak doesn't necessarily know what he wants him to do either. It's not like Dak can just say, like Drew Brees will probably tell Mike Thomas when he's a rookie or Brandon Cooks when he was a rookie, hey, listen, oh, you can do this pretty well. I want you to run this route this way. Or Tony Romo was telling Dez, hey, when you're coming across the field, I want you to sit down when you get in those windows. I'll decide when you're open. You don't just run the slant. You just run the route. Basically, is what he was telling them. Yeah, like you said, Rue Glock. Yeah, we Dak, and I'm not saying Dak doesn't know football. I'm saying Dak doesn't have a tendency. He doesn't have anything where he's like, listen, other than comeback routes, like he's not going to sit here and tell you, hey, if you see this, we're going to do this on this look. That same thing with Peyton Manning. Like those guys, that's what he does, and it creates. Yeah, you have two different styles of quarterback. You have quarterbacks who, and I'm not just talking about running or passing quarterbacks. I mean, you have quarterbacks and receivers where the play itself is the play, but based on what the coverage is, the receiver knows what to do. There's not going to be like if there's a blitz coming, there's a hot route. That route is already agreed upon between the quarterback and that receiver. They know what they're doing. The coaching staff might not even know what's going to happen on that particular play because they're not there practicing with those guys. Back, shoulder, face, those things. Now, those are the things that Dak, he doesn't have a arsenal yet of throws that he can consistently make. So he can't tell a guy, hey, you run this well. If you keep doing this, I can use you doing this drag route, or I can use you on this slant. I can use you doing this or that. He can't do that yet. Will he be able to if he buys himself enough time with some wins this year, gets us in the playoffs? Then yeah, hopefully next offseason he gets with an actual passing guru or quarterbacks guru, and he picks up some of that. And it might take him 2 years to do it, but um, he might be able to get to that point. But he's definitely nowhere near that right now. Somebody got serious that don't you ever compare
Tony Romo with Andy Dalton again. Yeah, Vosh, man, I had to throw these things on, man, because I can't see shit, brother. I'm sorry. At least they Gucci though. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had to. You know what I mean? No squints. Yeah, no squints. That's because of you too, man. You busting on me so bad. I had to go out and change my whole resume, man. What up? Shout out to Vach Lombardi. If you guys don't follow him, I'm pretty sure all of y'all do, but if you don't, you better. That's the boy when it comes to educating those guys who really don't understand the X's and O's at all. And I'm not even really a fully committed X's and O's guy. I know enough of it just to talk, but I'm more art than I am science. Vaj got the science down, for sure. Like he's taught me quite a few things. I won't lie. But yeah, shout out to you, man. Um, Real quick, while you in the chats, I can't see all your chats, but what do you think? I know you don't like to answer questions, but I'm a OG check you again. Like, what do you think of the game overall? Like, just give me your quick synopsis, real quick. You don't have to be long. Leighton is Brian Urlacher. Leighton is not. Why y'all? Why does everybody have the need to have another name? Like that doesn't make much sense to me. Let these guys be who they are. Brian Urlacher was once just a guy, right? And he had to become Brian Urlacher. So let Leighton become whoever the hell Leighton is going to be. But and I'm not saying he doesn't do anything like Brian. If you say his body size and his range, yeah, he is like Brian Urlacher. But to put that comparison on him, Urlacher is a Pro Bowl. I mean, not a Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer. Don't put that type of comparison on him. Let Leighton become whoever the hell Leighton's going to be. Stop doing that. You got to do that all day long. Don't tell D to shut up though. That's the homie. You know what I'm saying? Let him talk. Let's see what we got here. If I change answer, oh there you go. Vach said we got to the second level much better, executed better, took plenty of shots downfield. Yep. Got to catch him though. We were talking about Tavon Austin earlier. You probably weren't on at that point. But yeah, I agree with you there. Got to the second level as far as blocking. Joe Looney played a little better. I think he was. I can see him, a lot more. He stood out. I haven't watched the film yet, so I'm not saying everything he did, but he definitely stood out. Cheeto covered his ass off all game, but ball placement. Yep, same here. We both agree on that. We were talking about that earlier. Austin's not soft. He's just small, man. He's a little dude. You try to be, 160 in sports guru. Try to be 160 running up against guys that are 360 and that run almost as fast as you, full speed. Like they'll kill you. So he's not soft. He's just too little to be anything. Sort of like Beasley. They're small guys. Yeah, Byron Jones is not just a top five cornerback in your opinion, Tarek. He's a top five cornerback, period, according to PFF and the league. How many cornerbacks don't get balls thrown at them at all? At all. They didn't throw one ball at Byron. Not one. Not one. That's crazy. We already talked about Jordan Lewis. You just got to rewatch this. On Them Boys 27. We talked about it. Why I keep saying Dez will ball out? Like, listen, Dez can ball, and Dez is, he is who he is. I think Dez can still play. Hold on. I think he can still play at a very high level. I think he'll still be great. It's just I don't know. The way he left this team is he's not coming back here. So we can talk about him, but I talk about this because I like him as a player. I show plays and replays of him because I like what he did here. But I really just don't see it being realistic that he's going to be with us again. I just don't. Word, he's straight balling. Yeah, that's Byron straight balling. Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll play well with any quarterback that can put the ball where it needs to be. Because when you look back, people talk about his separation, and I don't want to keep saying this because I know you guys know this already, but they talk about his separation. When you look back on Dez and his career, uh, Dez has always been a guy that caught passes while he was being covered. He was well contested balls. Some of his best catches were while 3 or 4 people were on him, like Detroit, where he catches the ball over his shoulders and so on. He wasn't open. He's very rarely wide open. So that's just what it is. Gallup is a younger, better Dez. Antoine Jones, you do that again, I'm gonna mute you, man. You're tripping. You just trying to start shit in my chat box. Dak became accurate out of nowhere. I guess, yeah. I like Jalen where he is, man. Gallup is coming around. Coming around to what? He's not coming around to be better than Dez. Okay. All right, it's a couple more points I'm gonna make, fellas, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some dinner with my lady. But let's see. You guys have any more glaring questions that you want me to answer? Oh, Kenny Vaccaro's in Tennessee. My fault, folks. Didn't know that. I haven't really been staying on top of the rosters. But that's my fault. What do I think about Heath's play? We kind of talked about that in the beginning. I think Heath had his worst game of his career today. What's good, Eddie? How you, man? Could Dak be another black quarterback to win the Super Bowl? Um, Anything's possible. But and I don't want to say no. It could happen. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't very good his first Super Bowl. So yeah, it's possible. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. So yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it is. Would I say he's playing like a Super Bowl quarterback? No, but it's possible. Remember, like, all right, let's look at these things. There's two things. Dak was top 10 when it comes to quarterback ratings. He had a 118 rating today. He was number 6. Pretty good. He was efficient. But that efficiency, just like it came in his rookie year, the difference is, and what I want people to pay attention to, his rookie year, we put it on Dak and said, "Oh, Dak's great." Now we kind of understand Dak goes as Zeke goes. So that efficiency came from the fact that Zeke was doing his thing and giving Zach those opportunities to do what he needs to do. Yeah, yeah. We talk about LVE. He played great, in space. Um, Back to what I was saying though. But Dak also was number 17 when it comes to yardage. Dak is not a 300-yard quarterback. Not yet. He's not a guy that's going to light you up for 300 yards. He's not a guy that's going to pick you apart. That's just what it is. So Dak can definitely win a Super Bowl with the right formula. If we can really commit to who we are and our offensive line can start blowing guys off the ball again the way they used to and running guys into the dirt, yeah, we can win a Super Bowl playing this way because Dak will have those opportunities on the outside to do what he needs to do. If teams aren't saying, "Hey, look, man, let's just stop Zeke and we're gonna leave these guys wide open," like he gotta, he gotta get what he gotta get. You know what I mean? He gotta get it when it's time. He had about 255 passing yards today, forever. 255, 2 touchdowns. And you could say he had a ghost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, because if Tavon catches that last pass, he gets over 300 and he has 3 touchdowns. He had a Rico play in the end zone. He had a lot of that could have had 5 touchdowns today. He was in the red zone all day long. He just has to convert. If he does that, he's a different quarterback. He had the opportunities, and so he has to take advantage of them. Yep. Overall, he responded well. You're right. Uh, if we ever oh yeah, why would we go after Le'Veon Bell? That would be kind of stupid. Uh, yeah, they guys tend to overthrow guys on scrambles. Dak is actually one of the more accurate scrambling quarterbacks that I've seen, but yeah, guys tend to do that. Yeah, we talk about a lot of these things though, but yeah, so you guys are kind of going. Some of you guys are just jumping on. If you are, then and I encourage you, watch the beginning of this recording once I get off, because I covered a lot of points in this video, and some of the points are points that you guys are pointing out now. Real quick though, before I get off, I wanted to say there are a few standouts that I wanted to pay homage to. Number one, Zeke the freak. Zeke played like Zeke today, and I think him playing the way he played today is what it will take for us to continue to win. So hopefully Zeke keeps playing the way he's playing for our sakes, for Dak's sake, so on. So shout out to Zeke. He had over 180 some odd yards, 200 some odd yards of from scrimmage, I think, because he had 88 yards receiving off 4 receptions and a touchdown. And he also had 152 yards rushing. So it was ridiculous. I mean, a great game. Byron Jones, we already talked about, but shout out to Byron Jones. It's different when you have cornerbacks who are great, like Casey Hayward's pretty good. You have the guys over with the Rams, Aqib Talib, great. Marcus Peters, great. These guys are great corners. But Byron Jones, to not be thrown at for an entire game, that's a different stratosphere of corner because even those corners are tested. Um, that's going into the Patrick Peterson type phase where guys just say, "Listen, that's his side of the field. Don't throw it over there." That's different. So again, yeah, against Stafford, but Stafford can put the ball where it needs to be. He's not Tom Brady, but he can put the ball. He has a very talented arm, and he's been captain comeback against us for the last couple of years when we played him. So, uh, yeah, so Stafford can throw. So for him to be able to, for that to be even the game plan, like we're not going to go after this guy. Why would that be the game plan? So that's kudos, hats off to you, Byron. I mean, and that's a safety playing corner. Remember that. So uh, that's just that's unheard of. That's unheard of. It's different when you're a guy who's expected to do that, and they expect you to be this type of corner, and you are that. Like we expected Morris Claiborne to be, but to be a safety that's converting back, no one ever expected him to play this well. I expected him to give up some plays, and I can say, hey, look, it's a transition, but his transition is seamless, man, seamless. But yeah, shout out to Dak. I give Dak credit for taking the shots down the field. And playing like his nuts actually were hanging, and he wasn't scared for him to fall off. Man, he played pretty tough today. He had it in his eyes. Every time I looked at his eyes when we were watching the game live, I was like, "Dang, he looks angry." And maybe he needs to stay that way. So I'm going to keep breaking him down every time I can. I'm going to keep calling it out because hopefully that type of chatter is pissing him off because he plays better pissed off. He played pretty good. Shout out to the entire O line, but namely Joe Looney. The reason being he's been talked about because of the absence of Fredericks, and he stepped up today. I think he played pretty well, and a lot of our big runs were right up the middle. Both both him and Connor Williams played pretty well. You think that Okoye low key wants Dak to sink? No, it ain't personal. Again, if Dak can win, I don't mind Dak being here. That's being honest. I'm a Cowboy fan first. So anybody who can help us win, great. And you heard me say I don't want Dez back here, and I like Dez. Dez is my favorite receiver, but I don't want him back here because the energy wouldn't be right if he came back here, right? So I mean, it's about what's best for the team, and Dez wouldn't be right now. But Dak playing good if he can play this way, even if he's just a game managing, I don't give a shit, man. Play well, great. I don't mind people coming at me. I don't mind people saying, "Yo, you were wrong." You know, I told you so. No problem. No problem. And I'll admit it if that's what it is. So, and I'm an honest dude, man, straight up. Anyway, yeah, I talked. Oh, Joe Looney. Another thing I wanted to say. He was playing with his helmet off on one particular play. Got his helmet knocked off. Still was going like he ain't skip a beat. So, like, shout out to Joe Looney. Played pretty good. Um, Best hit of the day, I think, was Jalen Smith got a good hit on the tight end. He cracked him right in his back, and I think he hurt him a little bit. But my best hit, and I'm going to do a meme or something on it, was the sack on Stafford by D Law. He had all three actually, so shout out to him for that. That was a standout of the game, but he dumped him on his neck pretty good, and it was just like that was horrible, man. It could have been pretty bad. But they're asking these guys not to tackle them certain ways. You're gonna start seeing them. I've noticed, and it started with Aaron Donald last on Thursday, when the way he threw. remember the quarterback he threw, but the way he threw the quarterback down for his sack was just crazy. I was like, damn, you look like a car accident. And you're gonna see guys just tossing quarterbacks to the ground hard as hell now. Oh, it's Kirk Cousins. Yeah, sorry. But the way he threw Cousins to the ground was crazy, and I think that's the adjustment people are making. They're just grabbing on and they let their legs swing, and once their feet hit the ground, they take all that momentum and they toss you. And I think that's what they're going to start doing to these quarterbacks. So they're going to start seeing like it's a lot better to have a guy grab you and fall on you than it is to have a guy that's 300 pounds that lifts and benches 450 pounds like it's nothing, take you and just body slam you. So it's going to be, you think Kirk liked that? That was pretty good. You like that? No, I don't think he liked that. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. Best catch obviously was the Gallup catch or Zeke. I'd say Zeke because of what it meant, even though it wasn't as difficult. What that catch meant, it was that was a drive to win the game. So I think that'd be the best catch of the day. And standout of the game, standout of the game, Sean Lee. Cause only a guy as good as Sean Lee, and didn't think he was this damn good, but only a guy as good as Sean Lee can make an impact when he doesn't play. And when I say he makes an impact when he doesn't play, every time this dude doesn't play for us, we notice he's not there, which is crazy. So shout out to Sean Lee. Get well soon. I don't fucking know what you need to do, but get well soon, man. Take some performance enhancing drugs or something, some deer antler spray, whatever you need, because you're an injury prone dude. But when you play, you definitely make a hell of a difference. Um, best coaching call. Hmm. Best coaching call. I think would be Rod Marinelli. Reason I say that, and it wasn't in this game. I was listening to the commentary. They were talking about the fact that Rod Marinelli um, handed over the play calling duties to Chris Richard week one because he was supposed to just call passing formation and so on, but he handed it all to him. He said, "Take it all," and that's a hell of a call for a guy who one is the defensive coordinator and has a subordinate under him, but can see that talent well enough to know, hey, you should be doing this, and he let him do it. So that was an egoless move. So coaching call of the day or of the season thus far is Rob Marinelli stepping up and doing that. He said he need a double hamstring transplant. Oh man, that was funny. Keep running Zeke, yeah. Crawford too. Shout out to Crawford, man. But that's about to wrap up. I'm over an hour now, guys. Tonight, I'm uh, I'm definitely gonna start the film tonight, if I can, and you guys should see something soon. If not tomorrow, then definitely Tuesday. I'll get things out a lot more efficiently. During the season is hard, but we don't bitch around here, man. We get it done. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off for free, and I'm gonna keep doing it because I don't give a fuck. But salute to all y'all that joined in, man. I appreciate y'all spending y'all Sunday nights with me because I don't take it for granted. Just like I'm taking time away from my family to do this, you guys are taking time away from whatever you do to watch me, and you don't have to. So I appreciate you guys, and definitely will be back probably tomorrow with some footage and some film. Follow me on Twitter though, because I'm going to continue this conversation from wherever I'm eating. I'll be tweeting and talking shit, eating and tweeting match. That rhymes, right? But yeah, I got a couple of videos that I'm short videos, highlights that I'm gonna put out on Twitter of what happened in the game, different things, some things that I like, some things I didn't like, but they'll be on Twitter. Talk to y'all soon, man. Peace.